The night breeze roared off the Lagos lagoon, carrying the scent of brine and burnt suya. In a cramped room above a rowdy beer parlor in Ajigona, Abeni sat in front of a cracked mirror, lining her eyes with charcoal, the same way her mother once did before church service. But tonight wasn't for worship, it was for survival. Just 6 months ago, Abeni was a wife. She and Gok had dreams, small, fragile dreams like renting a shop for her tailoring and enrolling their son, Tolu, in a decent school. But Lagos, ever impatient, demanded quicker answers than hard work could give. Gok, desperate and unemployed, took a risk. The morning he died, Abeni remembered waking to the smell of pap and akara. Gok had kissed her forehead and said, "No matter what, I go make you proud today." He didn't come back. By noon, neighbors crowded her door, whispering. Abeni pushed through them, barefoot, to the nearby junction. She didn't need anyone to tell her. The crowd, the tires, the smell of burning rubber and flesh, the jungle justice system had taken her husband. He'd been caught stealing a woman's handbag. They beat him, tied him up, set him ablaze. Nobody waited for the police. Gok's death broke something inside her. With no husband, no job, and no support, she found herself on the streets with her 3-year-old son. The church offered prayers, not bread. The government. Silence. Then came Mama Ebeji. She was regal in her rotund way, with tribal marks and a husky voice like gravel. She took Abeni in, gave her clothes, taught her the trade. No be forever, Mama Ebeji had promised. Just until you fit stand for yourself. But forever starts slowly, like rot. At night, she became a candy. Abeni danced for strangers, laughed at cruel jokes, and learned to mask fear with allure. Clients ranged from drunk mechanics to suited politicians. Some were kind. Most were not. Then came Chief. He drove a black G-Wagon with tinted windows and always wore white, flowing agbada, crocodile leather shoes. He tipped well, never spoke much, but his eyes, they were too calm. Too cold. "You're different," he said one night, running fingers through her braids. "I want you for something more." He moved her to a flat in Ikeja, 3 rooms, air conditioning, satellite TV. Tolu had his own bed again. Abeni thought maybe this was the miracle. Until the rituals began. It started with blood. Chief brought her to a party in Lekki, silk gowns, champagne, the sharp perfume of money. But upstairs, in a candlelit room, things changed. A girl, not more than 19, was on the floor, sobbing, surrounded by men in red wrappers and chalk symbols. "Stay," Chief ordered, his voice sharp. Abeni couldn't move. The girl screamed as they cut a lock of her hair, drew blood from her thigh, and chanted words in tongues Abeni had never heard before. One man collapsed and convulsed. The others clapped and laughed. Chief turned to her. "This is power. This is how the rich stay rich. You want to leave the streets. You want your son to eat forever. Then watch." She didn't sleep that night. Or the next. Soon, Chief began asking for small things, a drop of blood on his hand, fingernail clippings, photos of her son. She refused. That's when things turned. Tolu fell sick, violently so. No fever. No wound. Just pain, constant pain. The hospital found nothing. "Spiritual attack," one nurse whispered. Mama Ebeji nodded grimly. This is how they start. Desperate, Abeni turned to a prophetess in motion. The woman, blind in one eye, touched Abeni's forehead and shuddered. "He has been marked. That boy carries a covenant now. But we will fight." The next night, Abeni ran. With Tolu on her back and a nylon bag of clothes, she fled the flat. Chief's men came searching. She hid in a church in Ojodu under the care of the prophetess. They prayed. Fasted. bathed Tolu in salt water and anointed oil. Slowly, it got better. But Abeni never returned to the street. Now, she sweeps a compound in Ajij during the day and learns sewing at night. The pay is small, but her soul is intact. Tolu laughs again. And she, though scarred, is healing. Sometimes, she sees girls by the roadside, in tight dresses and high heels, eyes glazed with dreams and desperation. She looks away, not out of shame, but sorrow. They don't know the darkness that hides behind tinted windows and sweet promises. They don't know how much of themselves they lose, before they realize they were never for sale. End.
From the moment Zuri first saw Jabari's bright smile beneath the baobab tree, her heart felt like a drum, thundering with hope and promise. Every day they met in secret, she bringing water in a clay pot, he offering wildflowers he picked at dawn. Their laughter echoed through the dusty paths, as if the whole village were listening. But Zuri's parents saw only what Jabari did not have. No farmland, no cattle, no wealth. "He's just a boy with empty hands," her mother would sigh. "How can you build a life on empty hands?" Her father's voice thundered at dinner. "A wife needs more than dreams. She needs security." Zuri would stare at her rice, tasting bitterness where there should have been sweetness. Still, love thrived in stolen moments. Jabari whispered, "I may be poor today, but I'll fill our home with laughter and light." Zuri closed her eyes and believed every word, though tears slid down her cheeks when she thought of her parents' faces twisted by doubt. When her family forbade her to see him, Jabari left at dawn, carrying only a small satchel and a heart full of purpose. He worked in the city market, mending shoes, carrying crates, learning every trade he could find. Seasons changed. Rain came, then broke, but Jabari kept saving, dreaming, building. With each hard-earned coin, he inched closer to the promise he made beneath that baobab tree. Years later, he returned, no longer the barefoot dreamer, but a man who owned a thriving workshop and enough to feed 100 homes. He stood before Zuri's family, his shoulders straight and eyes gentle. "I come not just with wealth," he said, voice steady, "but with the same love I offered your daughter all those years ago." Her father studied his worn hands, now strong and capable. Her mother saw the kindness in his gaze. Slowly, their stern faces softened like clay touched by rain. "Welcome home, Jabari," her father finally said. And that very evening, beneath the same baobab tree, Zuri and Jabari were married, two hearts richer than any gold, and at last their love had found its place to grow,